coming. There's a yuppie dog down there.
Sorry?
Yupping dog.
Am I okay to come in?
Yeah, I'm just on my way now. Hold on.
Yes.
Just going to brush my hair a little bit because it's a mess. All right then. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, things are just dropping down like crazy. All right. Come in. I'm in here, right in front of you.
Are you happy for the front door to remain?
Yeah, because I've got a letter from the council.
Yeah.
Which says about my theft of the bin outside. It says they've left it at the front entrance. I don't know why they've done that because, as a matter of fact, I did tell them the bins are located at the back of the building. So I don't know why they've done that. Would you mind helping me? Can you be kind enough to help me bring it from the back to the front just before you go?
Yeah. Where do you normally keep them?
Right, I'll show you the... I'll take that first of all.
What pets do you have?
That's
Oh, rabbit.
Norwegian. No, Netherland rabbit, which is a little mini one. And that's a hamster, and that's a bird.
Oh.
I'll just show you where the bins are, which is at the balcony. So as you go to the balcony, turn your head towards the left and you'll see the bin area. I'll provide you the key as well. Can you see a missing bin?
Yeah.
Can you put the new bin in that gap? That's
yes.
very kind.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want this door closed?
Yeah, it's cold out there. I'm shaking as it is.
So you said on the phone call that something has been going a bit weird with your phone.
Yeah, so that's a letter from my housing, which is Thrive. I'll just put that paperwork over here. Trying to... That's proof that I am disabled with a disability.
Yeah.
I'm getting enhanced benefits for today's date.
Yeah.
So I have severe mobility problems and chronic pain in my spine. Also, I have some type of a tumour in my tummy.
Okay.
Which is just located. It was there, but it moved.
Okay.
So I am not very well person.
Are you getting any support in any way at all?
In what respect do you mean?
Any support, so whether that's social support, such as things with, because obviously your mobility, like things with shopping, cleaning, any support in any way?
None whatsoever.
Are you wanting that kind of support?
I did want it, and I contacted the adult services and see if they could help, because they're exploiting my vulnerabilities with having to use the yellow pages for other services, which are private services, such as I use the rubbish collection, which is a private services. The rubbish collection, trying to find it. It's called an alternative rubbish clearance, which is privately owned, and it cost me like £200, which is taking my money from my disability to remove my rubbish, because I physically have to take little bags. I'll show you what I mean by little bags. Like little bags like this. Throw them over the bin. Like I have about 7, 8, 9, 10 of these normal shopping bags over the balcony. I have to do it at 6 in the morning exactly, so that no one sees me, which is embarrassing. And then I have to go down the stairs with my walking stick, which means I could fall, and take a black bin bag like this. And then put all of these little ones inside the black bin bags. Then lift it, which is a trauma for me. It's deeply upsetting because of the pain. In order to save the £200 a month, I do it like that once a week, which is like a physio going up and down the stairs, but it's a huge risk and health and safety problem, because I could fall down the stairs, and the landlord are aware of it. They also wrote a letter to say that in case there's a fire, I can't get out quickly.
No.
So they've done that on the 22nd of August last year, but I have not received any information about the incident of the summer last year, which was police recorded in October. I phoned in. I think I've got the date here somewhere to give you.
What was that regarding? Sorry.
Somebody was shouting. My windows are always opened in the summer, and someone was shouting outside. We can see you put your slippers on. We have surveillance camera in the loft.
Okay.
And she was laughing. She was looking up like that. I do apologise for the flies. I hoover them regularly.
Yeah.
So if I had the money, I would have bought the fly killing machine by now. But since I don't have the money, I have to hoover the flies. And she's my physiotherapy medical bunny. All I do is roll it up into a sausage, the wool there, and then every day put it in a bin. However, she's trained for toilet, but she always goes in the same spot. Yeah. But rabbits urinate and it causes flies. So this is my motivation with my rabbits to do it every day, which takes my mind off the pain. To care for someone else takes my mind off of my pain. Yeah. But I don't have anyone caring for myself. No. I care for myself. I'm independent. And since I've been treated very badly by adult care services who rejected me twice, they said I don't fall in their criteria. I was in a wheelchair 2 years ago. I was totally paralysed. I could only sit for 2 hours and then I had to lay down. So it's being bedridden. Yeah. So moving and mobilising increases my muscle development because my spine had collapsed, which is a decompression and saddle sensation paralysis. It went down. It was proven in 2020 by an MRI scan. And so then they said they could see an impingement. That means I had slipped the disc. And I have severe sciatica. So for children, I was advised it takes 4 years. For adult, it takes 8 years. Yeah. Because we are a lot slower in recovering. And so I do my best to help myself to recover. I've sort of been nursed myself, sort of, with very limited medication. So I'm taking diclofenac and I'm also taking paracetamol.
Is your GP doing anything to support you?
They do a delivery for me from the local chemist, which is great. Yeah. However, they are not very supportive. I have noticed discrimination and ignorance on their file, because recently I paid £27 for a GP's letter, and they posted it in the Christmas time with a franc rather than a stamp. And so I phoned up and said, I'm sorry, hello, I don't have your letter. It must have gotten lost in the post because of Christmas and New Year period. Please resend it to me. And the response from the GP reception and administration was, we will send it for you again. However, if you don't receive it in the post, you have to come and get it.
Which obviously...
I'm not a dog. Come and get it. Come and fetch a bone. And I couldn't believe that they said that so insolently, because I pleaded with them. I said, please use a normal stamp so it doesn't get lost in the post. Please help. And I need that letter because I can then proceed with my housing application to move to an appropriate accommodation. Yeah. So if you put the dots together... they could be more courteous and more polite and more kind in my disability. And so that basic duty of care is not there.
No. Are you with Baldwin's Lane surgery?
I am, yeah. So if you could refer me to adult care services to see what they can do to help, but I don't want them to get involved in the aspect of financial management. I can financially manage fine.
Yeah, but
however, I am concerned because I'm being exploited of my vulnerabilities in respect of the council stopping the rubbish collection, which I have received for 4 years. When I wasn't able to walk or stand, I was hopping on a leg. I was hopping on one leg,
refusal.
And I was using my daughter's skateboard, not a skateboard, but scooter.
Yeah.
To actually drag the bins at the front door, which is assisted rubbish collection. So I said, hello, Three Rivers Council, can you please let me know why have you made this policy, which is political? Then they said, oh, we made it because of COVID pandemic and we want to protect our staff from entering the building block of flats. And so they stopped it. That's the reason they stopped it. And they've stopped it since 2020. It's now 2025.
Yeah.
I made a protest through the support of Citizens Advice. I completed their form. And so they said, oh, we're really sorry, we can't get it reinstated. And so it is demonising disabled people. And I have no other option than to pay £200 a month for private rubbish collection. He's very good. He's very professional.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to.
His name is Leslie. He's professional and beyond professional. That means he genuinely does care. It's not that he cares because I give him money. He genuinely cares. He's a genuine person. And so he's been helping me for 3 years now and taken £200 every month from me. So I'm trying my best. I need that money for extra clothing, underwear, pantries, and also I need it for helping me to lose weight. I need extra tea bags. These are my tea bags without milk. So green tea to lose weight. But I'm often short on money for medicals. Also, Amazon has stopped giving antibiotics. I have this problem in my tummy. When I had an endoscopy and colonoscopy, he noticed that I'm infested with cysts. And he said it was due to bad stress. But I have to have a second opinion. So far, I have not had second opinion. And I had a rotavirus in my tummy that made me like a baby. Every time I eliminated, it was the same as a baby. It was bright yellow, like a banana yellow. And I asked for antibiotics from my GP and they did not help. They said no. And so 13 years later, I still have rotavirus. So I asked my new GP that I've been with for 2 years, 1.5 years, they won't give me antibiotics. I tried Amazon and they tricked me. They said, oh, this antibiotics is only a preparation before you take your antibiotics. So I was taking garlic tablets.
Yeah.
Assuming that was antibiotics.
Yeah, you can't, there's antibiotics prescribed, you can't actually get them from.
You used to be able to, my friend told
really?
me, you could buy like normal penicillin from Amazon. Now they've stopped it. So I'm stuck in sort of bedridden, housebound with very limited medication. So what I'm taking to numb my pain so I can cope with the pain management, mobilizing down the stairs once a week, which is a huge risk for me. It's a big problem. And what I'm taking is diclofenac, which numbs the muscles and numbs the pain, and paracetamol. However, that's not going to cure my problem.
No.
I also had an injection in my spine, and that worked, but it only worked like an epidural thing.
Yes.
But it only lasted for two weeks.
Have you raised a complaint with PALS?
I did, yeah.
And what's happened with that?
It was regarding hospital transport. And that was, they apologised profusely and I had a letter from them in response. But that has sort of improved for hospital transport.
What about the practice manager at Baldwin's Lane regarding how your GP, obviously...
I'm not with Baldwin Lane. I am with Chorleywood Health Centre.
Oh, Chorleywood Health Centre.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to practice manager about how...
I had a violation with them because anybody on the street can make a complaint, to make an allegation about me. And I said I have opted out and used a third-party disclosure, opt out, and said my medical records are private, but it hasn't been done properly. So she said I had to refill the forms, which is a total nightmare because anyone from the street could do a referral and make nonsense allegations. So as a result of that complaint that I made with Chorleywood, to say, why has this happened? This is terrible. This is awful. It's horrifying to say any strangers can make allegations. And I end up, I don't know, in a nut house, or I end up somewhere I don't want to end up, my privacy violation. And I've got all types of businesses looking at my medical records, and I said I already opted out, and they don't listen. So I have to yet find another GP. I have a good mind where I want to go. I've found somewhere else.
Where is it that you're thinking of going to?
It's local. It's closer. It's not Baldwin surgery. It's not in my immediate area.
Oh, it's not New Road surgery.
It's based in Rickmansworth town.
Oh, okay.
So it is closer, but it's not these not these two, because
they're linked as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the Baldwin Lane surgery at New Road and my local area, it had merged GPs, and I don't like anything being merged, because you really need to be separate so that you can know the difference between the two. And so, and it's also very political. This is Mosa, my bird. It's very political what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't want my medical records politicised. I don't want politicians, celebrities, or any other business get involved. So things are overwhelming, and I don't want to be like an object or subject of systemic abuse either. And I think that I'm sort of in a limbo of every year it's the same thing. And I'm not going to give up, because I haven't come this far for nothing. And I'm going to persist and be determined to do the right thing while they're determined to do the wrong thing. And so it could be also that I'm racially profiled, because I told my landlord that I'm suspicious of being stalked, because nearly 20 years ago, I was going through a divorce, and I had a boyfriend, but it was more of a pen friend.
Yeah.
And I was betrayed by his kiss. And then I had his connections stalk me to this address. So from the previous address to this address, 13 years ago.
Have you lived here for 13 years?
Yes.
Where were you living before?
I was near Watford area.
Okay.
And so he came under my window, lurking about, shouting, "Do you want to kiss Jay now?" So obviously I don't have evidence of that. No. But I know it was one of his friends that did that, or it could have been his enemy. Either way, it's connected to him. And I had news from him that he had moved to Japan. So he's traveling. And so I'm very, very worried about that. Yeah. I do have a letter as well to give to you, which I have written. I wasn't going to give it to you, but I didn't know who was going to see me. Yeah. But since you are listening to me, I'm going to hand you this letter. I've put a rope on it so that all the pages, there's 8 pages.
Do you mind if I read that now? Or I'll read it if you would rather.
At the end of our meeting, yeah. But my priority is, obviously, I don't want to merge anything, keep everything organised. Please, will you copy that? Yeah. And when you can, in your convenience, it doesn't have to be you particularly, but anyone who can, please put it through my letterbox in person, or send me a copy to by post, by mail. Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather you put it through the letterbox, because it may get lost in the mail.
That's fine. Once I get back to police station, I'll take a copy of this, and then I'll hand deliver it back.
I've got oil in my hair. I use coconut oil.
Oh yeah.
The bathrooms are constantly flooded. So
is that your bathroom? Yeah. Do you mind if I have a look?
Yeah, before you have a look, we'll do that at the end. So this is Thrive Homes. So they are legally obliged to do gas annual safety checks. So for me to confirm appointments and their repairs and refurbish my bathroom, every time I use it, it's flooded. I have to use sponges or mops, and I struggle with mops. I'd fallen over twice. Yeah. So they've installed it when they didn't do a proper installation. I noticed, hopping on one leg, it wasn't concreted. It was all rotten. So they've put the shower tray, on top of a rotten foundation. So something new over something old. Yeah. They did that in 2017. I fell over from the puddles and floods in 2018 and 19. It was solicited. And then COVID came, pandemic, and my solicitor had liquidised. So I lost £1,000 from my own benefit money to solicitate the fact that they rejected the money from adult services. Adult services gave the money to make my landlord do a wet room, which was rejected for being underoccupied and for being unemployed, which is a discrimination.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah.
So they rejected the money given by adult care workers in 2018 and 19 for that reason. So I came back and asked two other times I was rejected by adult care workers. Since they could see I'm rejected by the landlord, they too have decided to reject me for the future. Refer myself. I referred myself and said, please, could you help? Sorry, we can't help you as adult care services. We can't. And I don't know why. I don't know why they've rejected me. I guess, I can guess, but I don't want to assume anything. The adult care services rejected me because they found out that my landlord had rejected the money.
Who is your landlord?
It's Thrive Homes.
Oh, it is Thrive.
Yeah. And so I've been with them for 13 years. Ever since I arrived at this property, I lost my daughter. They said she was better off with her grandmother than me because of my disability. But they've ignored the disability and said something else, which were allegations. So my former mother-in-law and my ex-husband, I have remained single ever since. I haven't been with anybody else in a commitment, and I'm a Christian lady, so I don't go and sleep around for casual purposes. I don't do that. So it was always my daughter's dad, and so he died. And it was deeply traumatizing for me because I lost my civil rights. I lost my civil rights for my daughter was taken away from me in 2014. All of this happened with allegations coming from a criminal who is a taxpayer. And I also mentioned a corrupt police officer. He's friendly. He's friends with a corrupt police officer.
Do you know?
I think his name was Phil, but I don't know his surname. And I don't know if Phil, the police officer, is a genuine name. Could be a false name. And so I haven't mentioned to you who the stalker could be connected to, a man called Jay. But I don't know anything since 2007 and 8. That was the last time I had contact with him. And again, I had always had my last sexual relations with my daughter's dad, no one else. And I abstained sexual relations ever since. I reported to the police of being molested by my friend who died. And her husband, he molested me, and he's much older, 2 years ago. And I've asked the police to delete that off the record, but they haven't done. That was in 2022. And I said I hadn't been touched ever since. The last time I was touched, it was my daughter's dad. And it was horrible because he wanted to pressure me, and he was much older than me. And the police, I made a complaint against the police because she said, you must have enjoyed it because he was friends with you. So I made a complaint, and I said, friends don't go touching each other inappropriately, sexually. I'm not here to be molested. He's very thin, very tall, so he overpowered me. He was here, yeah. So the police didn't do anything because I complained. And so I've become, as a result, more reluctant to trust anybody. Because I trusted him like 10% out of 100%. And I've known him for since I was 18 years old. So since my friend, his wife died, he decided to do this to me after 4 years of knowing me. And so he wanted to build my trust in order to attack that trust, to make me look gullible and stupid. And so, I don't know if you know a PC Sergeant Sparks. I don't know if you know her.
I know a PC Sparks, Kira Sparks, It's
not Kira. It's I don't know what her first name is.
Was she blonde?
No, she was dark hair and she worked nights. And
I do.
Her sergeant is a Keel, like a peel.
Yes. Yeah.
So since I made a complaint, unfortunately, I have not had the police support. This is my second time contacting the police because I was worried about my bin being stolen. And I had to use scissors to cut off my system for intercom. This January 2025, every 2 hours they're buzzing it, which is not respecting my privacy. I don't know who they are. They're strangers. And at night time and early mornings, all night, nearly all night, every 2 hours, buzz, buzz, buzz. So I cut it with scissors. I contacted my landlord through using their subcontractor telephone number. I can't use the normal number, which is at the bottom of this letter.
Okay.
So any important calls I have to make, a criminal is connected to my landlord, which is very, very dodgy. And I'm going to demonstrate. So if you can just witness me dialing the number, which is, they've got two numbers. They've got the landline, and they've got, so they'll do the landline first. I'll get rid of that. So it's 01923 693. Yeah, you see the number. Oh, it's ringing now. Wait. It's working now, but it wasn't working yesterday. Let's try the normal 0800 number. 0800 60
77.
And it's a deadline. See?
Yeah.
Deadline. So if I redial that. Deadline.
Yeah.
So normally I'll leave it as a deadline for a couple of minutes, because normally an operator says this is a wrong number. Can you go somewhere else? So that number is not working.
I'm just going to try on my work phone. What time did you try calling not the 0800, the 01923 number yesterday?
It was in the evening.
Because once it hits, I think it's either 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, that number stops working. And
No, I've tried it in the morning as well.
In the mornings, oh, okay, I was going to say.
From 9 and 10 in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that rings for me.
In Clive Homes. Did you know you can now manage your
But
account?
it doesn't work on here, look.
No.
And so I have only received this landline number only recently.
Yeah.
And so I was panicking, thinking my mobile doesn't work, it's compromised, it's constantly compromised. This phone is an Apple phone, and I paid £1,000 for it. I'll just switch on the Apple phone. It needs to be charged. So I'll just charge that while we're talking. And so £1,000 is a lot of money for a phone. Yeah. And I had internet security and everything on there. And so I also have a firewall with Sky. So they said, oh, no one should hack you. And I've never taken it outside because I'm housebound and bedridden. So I was hoping that this is the phone. And I'll have to sign in. Not sign in, but put my PIN number in. So that's my Apple phone.
And then what happens when?
So I want you to take this phone with you. Can I trust you?
What is it you want, please?
To investigate the hacker.
What makes you believe the phone's hacked?
Well, it's got my SIM card in it, which is Tesco Mobile, and I suspect that there is a hacker on there because I requested through the normal cycle of things to remove my old number. The normal routinely instructions how to reset the old phone number and provide a new phone number.
Yeah.
Through the normal, channel, it doesn't allow it.
You have to get a new SIM card.
This is a new SIM card.
You've got a new SIM card in the phone.
In the phone from Tesco Mobile. And I've tried this to remove the old number and it just won't allow it.
Where is it showing your old number?
It shows it from the settings of the normal settings. It shows you what number is at the SIM management section, and it shows you the number.
And there's no way to remove it yourself?
No, so they've stolen my personal Face ID. They've stolen my PIN number. No, I still have the same PIN number. So the PIN number's working, which I'll provide you. But the actual phone itself is not it's very suspicious activity. It's not
So
working
with
properly.
phones, we don't actually, as police officers, we don't download them. The only times they get downloaded is in serious crimes such as murder investigations, things like that.
Oh my God.
We don't typically, I've got no ability at all to download a phone.
Is there somewhere that you can put it in the post for action fraud to investigate?
I don't even think action fraud to do it. In all honesty, I don't think they look into phones.
Yeah.
Phones are, for the police, phones are really hard for us to actually download and investigate.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive. So they only
So
do
I
it
can't use it to make any calls.
The only way I would suggest is that you would have to,
Deadline.
provide it to an Apple store. I appreciate, obviously,
Go to Apple Store.
you are.
So I go very rarely because of the pain in my back.
Yes, understandable.
If I go out, it's like once or twice a year, you know. And so I let me just check in that letter.
Where did you buy that phone from? Did you buy it directly from Tesco or?
No, it was bought online. So just your normal Apple store.
Yeah.
I think there's an Apple store in Watford, but
Yes,
it may be closed down.
No, there's.
So I have no computer, no laptop, or anything like that. So I could take it there, but I've got goosebumps. I fear for my safety. So this number, which is on there currently, is connected to 3 of my online social medias, which I keep a Christian community, to listen to church and encouragement, and also being creative.
Yeah.
And so these are 3 numbers which are constantly being attacked by oligarchies. Is it an oligarch? If not an oligarch, something else. I don't know who's doing it. I have no idea. But the original problem that has caused this landline problems is 2 years ago I had a different mobile, which was a Motorola, covered with a foreign language, which has enslaved me in my own home. So it's a foreign government enslaving me and my civil rights. It was full of Arabs. Yeah. And it was full of French and American. So 3 hackers had hacked me. And so as a result, I had to recycle that phone. Yeah. Get rid of it. So what would help? What they advised me, which is my provider, which is Sky, to contact with the police for a tiny little bit of your tiny notebook, just to say very briefly, you were here today, you saw me dial my number, and I've had this problem for 2 years now. Yeah.
So I will do a referral.
Yeah.
Like to adult social services, but I will also contact Thrive Homes directly and make them aware of everything that we've discussed today.
I've given them their police reference number. Yeah. And the purpose of you being here is to write me a note as well with your notebook, so then I can get my friend or postman, who is very friendly, he normally takes my post, so that they can then take your note, which said that you were here witnessing me dialing out. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying. Yeah. I'm not lying. To say you were here as a witness. And and other numbers have had problems of my calls being disconnected. So I will say hello and chat to somebody in the middle of it. I don't like using the word chat. It's unprofessional. So I was talking to someone on the phone and then my calls would disconnect. Occasionally during the year, I could hear a man breathing on the other phone. Okay. So it's very scary. And I can also hear beeping sounds. So if you put it on loudspeaker, listen to me tapping in, pressing the keypads, it makes a beeping sound. So I'm pressing the keypads. That's me making the sound. I could hear somebody else dialing during my call. Yeah. Or during whatever. So if it is a call centre with a switchboard, I can understand that. However, these are not call centres. No. These are just normal individuals. Yeah. And I just said, I would confront them. And I said, was that you? She said, no, it wasn't you. Do you have a problem? Is it you? And no, it's not me. So it's somebody doing it. And I don't know if that somebody could actually physically hear me talking or if it's just a threat to sort of make me feel afraid. Yeah. They can't actually hear anything, but they're threatening me. So I'm being oppressed by a foreign government. And if it's not a government, it's a gangster. Yeah. If it's not a gangster, it's somebody super rich. And I don't know why. I'm not a rivalry to it. I'm not a rival to anybody. I'm not a business competing to anybody. Why are they targeting the most vulnerable who are sick and disabled? And it is frightening because I could be attacked.
Yeah.
The fact that I call the police is my bin has been stolen and that my doorbell keeps buzzing. So I've taken the responsibility regarding the door intercom system, and I've been waiting for 2 weeks and haven't heard anything. So I left it with Thrive, left it in their hands. They said they will get back in some. I am receiving calls, but I'm having trouble making calls, getting constant interference, and being bugged and bullied. And so, apart from having the fun using my Hoover to capture the flies and my pets,
This is all connected in, okay?
Yeah, I had to do that because sometimes she falls off of my lap.
Got you, yeah.
And then runs around and chews the wires.
Yeah.
So I've put the wire up so that she doesn't touch it. She's got a fishnet there. Do you see the fishnet?
Yeah.
That's how I catch her. It's extra long handle.
Yeah.
So it's extra long handle, so I can catch her. I don't have to run too far, but it's an exercise for me. I can't, because I'm not using the walking stick. I was in a wheelchair or sort of like a tripod where you have a chair to sit on, which is still there. And I'm sort of, she very rarely does that, but if she does go run around the place, she chews every single wire she can get on there. I've professionally cleaned my carpets and rugs because she would pee everywhere. Sometimes I'm so exhausted, if she's running everywhere, I leave her for a whole week. And in a whole week, can you imagine how much damage she does to my carpets? I had to have them professionally cleaned. And so I love her. I mean, that's what she does naturally, and I take care of her. But this is the reality, such as life. Nothing's too easy. Nothing's too easy. Everything's very challenging and difficult. But it's a fair challenge because she's my nurse, you know. And in summer and spring, I let her run around on the balcony. And she is mostly toilet trained. She regularly goes to her toilet litter. And she loves the balcony. So I don't really want to move because this is my home. I've lived here for 13 years. But because of the stairs and no lift and fire safety regulation, I need to move. So if I can have adult services, I hope to God they can speed up the process to help me with application. So to work with the council and to support me with travelling, they could meet me at the council, for example, and support me in completing all those forms and medical records and all of this. And so I can leave. The sooner I leave, the better. But I don't want the stalker following me.
No. Do you mind if I have a look at your bathroom? Because you said about
Yes, of course. It's just if go right, and you see the toilet room.
Oh yeah. So are you able to step over into the tray? Because
No, I'm not. I don't use it because it floods, and I have fallen twice.
I mean,
I've got handles. I've got grip rails that the adult services gave me, but I've struggled, and the door was broken because of the floods.
Yeah.
There was a sponge in there.
Well, do you have quite a few pets? I've noticed you've got
I have one hamster and one bird and one rabbit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And if it depends, because I sometimes have a bed. My professional person helps me moving things. I told you his name was Leslie. He's going to move the sofa out of the way. So I've got bins inside, which is in the smallest room.
Is that this one here?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's just for cardboard boxes and tin and washed. I do wash the tins. Can you sit? Can you take a seat? Because I need to go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet. Would you mind taking a seat?
What? I've got all the information that I need to do the referral. So like I said, I'll do this referral.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get this letter posted back through. Yeah. And then you should get an update once that's done.
Would you mind just writing a note so I can then send...
I can't physically rip out any pages out.
Can I give you a paper? I'll give you a paper. Then I can post this to my provider and request that the system is changed so I have a new account and a new telephone number. And I had changed my name to Mima Hapunch. So my name is Mima. It used to be Maria. So please title it as Mimmer, occupying tenant Mimmer. And I was fostered in England, so I have a Catholic foster mum, or former Catholic foster mum. Both of my relatives are living abroad, which is former Yugoslavia.
Okay.
And I know I had on Facebook Putin talk to me. I also had the Parliament of London talk to me, who was John Bercow. And so I was I was a member of the Parliament.
Okay.
But then I came out because I was worried. Why was I getting foreign government speaking to me? And I discontinued following Putin and the Parliament of London. It was just for news. It was just for watching news. And I discontinued using Facebook. And this is where I think this is where the hackers are coming from. And I found out horrifying things about Facebook. So in total, I've stopped using Facebook for about 6-7 years now. But I'm still having the problem.
Yeah.
I'll never use Facebook again.
No.
As a result of what I've experienced. So that's my feedback to the police. So you have written, what does that say?
PC Rice. That's my surname and my
Okay,
number.
I didn't realise that was your surname.
Yeah.
So you've given my address, and witness the phone does not work effectively in the address of witness the other issues.
Is there anything else you wish to...
Can you just add in brackets a deadline?
Yeah.
And today's date? Oh, does it have today's date?
It's got today's date.
Okay. So it's a deadline, and also mention the fact that I'm getting disconnected calls, like interference of somebody else disconnecting my calls. Please specifically say that, because it's worrying for me that they're listening into my bank. Please let me mention that I don't use internet banking. I use telephone banking. Please put in brackets bank, because my bank had been compromised. You know, the 6-digit security number.
Yeah.
And they issued me a new security number, but I'm having to use this phone to contact the bank to manage my finances. And that's very worrying, because they can interfere with that way too. And that's everything. Thank you very much. What do you think, Mosa? They had some pear fruit this morning. They all had pear. And that's another reason why you can see flies. Pears make fruit.
Yeah.
And after 24 hours, I put it in the bin, but it does come out like that. I also have plants, so I'm taking care of plants.
Okay, I've just mentioned about the telephone banking as well, okay.
My hamster's asleep. I'm growing some plants.
They're nocturnal, aren't they?
Yeah. But I need to regrow because they're old. This one's old.
How do you get food inside your dress? Do you get it delivered?
Yeah. Thank you for my letter.
That's okay. And then, is this your kitchen area? No.
That is my dining area.
Oh, that's your kitchen.
No, where you've just been is the dining room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, can you see the bookcase?
Yes. Do you have any contact at all still with your daughter?
My relatives live in Cambridge.
Oh, okay.
And I was fostered by a Catholic mum, so I don't have anybody close to me. So it's very difficult.
Yeah. Do you still talk to your daughter at all?
My daughter's at university, she's very busy.
Oh, wow.
But I have given her a channel to talk to me if she wants, but my ex-foster mum is telling her lies. She's telling her that I didn't allow her to see her dad, which is totally false, disinformation. And also I discovered that it was her dad who was abusing her, and I was the one who was getting suspicious against by the authority. And it's very wrong. I had an injustice as a result of his death, because he died. He had a bypass surgery on his heart. That's how he died, in hospital. So these are the pictures of my daughter. She was 9 years old. And at 9 years old, that was the last time I saw her. Yeah. She was taken away from me. And so my foster mum, my ex, didn't help. No. My ex-mother-in-law didn't help. But they do have a channel. They do know my address. And they do know my telephone number. But it's obviously going to be changed, so they won't know my number. Yeah. And they won't know my... I was betrayed by my Catholic foster mum. She moved to a new address and didn't tell me where she is. She sends me Christmas cards,
but no return address.
So So this is all because of my ex-foster mum, and you know, she believes my daughter's better off, and she liked my husband more than she liked me.
That's harsh, isn't it?
I mean, I've always been polite, and I always had reasonable contact, but because of the disinformation, it had overpowered and outnumbered me as a result. So I need a new life.
Yeah.
I need to get away from it all.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this because it's going to more protect my privacy.
That's fine. I'll do those referrals. I'll get this photocopied and then I'll deliver it back to you, okay?
Yeah, that would be great.
Perfect.
Thank you very much,
That's
Miss
okay.
Miss DC Rice.
Yes.
Nice to have met you.
You too.
Take care. Look after yourself. Oh, you don't forget the bin to move the bin.
So
Did you see it, by the way?
I didn't see it at the front.
But the letter said it was at the front.
I'll have a look when I go outside and then I'll move it around to the back.
If you can't find it, please let the council know. Because I did tell them to put it in the back. They know I'm disabled. Why did they put it at the front?
I'll have a look for it. If I can't find it, I'll let the council know.
Thank you very much.